Hey everyone, this is Gleb Bakhmutov, and today I want to show you how my plugin cypress-magic-backend interacts with your cy.intercept calls. So imagine I have a test that prepares a couple of to-dos, maybe two to-dos, visits the page, and then deletes one of items. The UI should have only a single item left. I have a couple of ways this test can be performed. If we have magic mode, and it's not equal to playback, then we reset the backend. Otherwise, this test runs with no interception and no network traffic control. Let's see if this works. I'm gonna click on end-to-end testing, observe delete. Okay, we have two items, one item remaining. Excellent. So application is making a couple of calls, the initial get and then delete. So let's confirm that this delete happens. We can use cy.intercept to spy on the network call. So before we delete the item, we're gonna intercept delete any endpoint that starts with to-do segment. We're gonna give it an alias, so once we click the button, we can wait for this call to complete successfully. We can even confirm the status code is 200. Okay, delete was successful, status code 200. Let's run it again just to see it in action. Perfect. So now we want to run with no backend. Well, first thing we need to do, we need to record all the calls the application is making. So we're going to click record, and now we're spying on all the calls, including the get to-dos and delete to-do. And they were saved. Let's look at the file. This is the file, two calls. The first one was get, returns two items. The second call was delete, and that was the URL. Great. So now, if we decide to run with no backend, no problem. We're marking all the calls, and our intercept spy still works. And it works because the cypress-magic-backend is the first plugin that you should include or require or import in your support files. So if I look at my end-to-end support file, the first plugin there that loads the cypress-magic-backend. It means it sets up its spies or intercepts or stubs first. Inside the test, we set up the cy.intercept for delete calls right there. So we set up it after the cypress-magic-backend intercepts. And Cypress applies the intercepts in reverse order. So first it tries to see if this intercept applies, and if it does apply, then it will execute first. If you spy, perfect. You spy on this call, then it goes to the next intercept, which would be the cypress-magic-backend, and so on. And this is done in Cypress so that you can redefine or overwrite intercepts. The intercept that you define like right in the test should apply first, rather than intercepts applied or defined at the beginning of the whole test run. Okay, now let's see what happens if we, for example, stub a network call. So instead of allowing delete to go to the backend, we stub it with an empty object. I'm gonna run the test again to see if it works with this change. Okay, let's try it again. Perfect. So in reality, we no longer delete the item on the backend. So what happens now if we try to run with no backend? It just works because, well, there is unused delete call. It never got to that cypress-magic-backend intercept because this intercept was applied first. The interception stopped, returned the empty object, and never went to cypress-magic-backend. So this second call is no longer observed by the backend. Now, right now, cypress-magic-backend doesn't complain if there are some unused network calls. But I would suggest if you change something from a spy to a stub right here, that you go back and re-record the test, because then you'll have accurate information in your JSON file, because you're no longer observing that delete call because it's taken care of inside the test itself. So just to recoup, cypress-magic-backend is compatible with your current cy.intercept logic. Either you're spying or stubbing, it actually makes sense. And cypress-magic-backend acts as a stub or spy of the last resort that only sees the network calls if the test doesn't handle them itself, which I think makes a lot of sense.